Hey there, and welcome to yet another one of my cheesy YouTube videos. In this video we're going to be dealing with motor mounts. I recently put a TDI engine from a 2003 Volkswagen Jetta into a 1981 Volkswagen Rabbit pickup truck, also known as a Caddy. The Caddy came with a 1.7 gasoline engine. This TDI, it's got these big, massive aluminum mounts totally configured in a different area, as opposed to these little steel mounts on the Mark I engine. So my dilemma's been, do I make the Mark I mounts fit on the TDI, or do I make the TDI mounts fit in the Mark I's chassis? I'm really on the fence for both. I want to take the TDI setup. I've put the mounts back on it, front and rear, and I think I'm going to take it and hang it into the Mark I's bay and just see where the mounts sit. What I've done is I went out to a junk Mark I and I measured from the top front corner of the valve cover, and I put a mark at the 19-inch line. So if I go from this 19-inch line to a 19-inch line on the driver's side and run a straight edge across, the valve cover should sit right in that plane. The valve cover sits about 3 inches below this part of the body. So if I can take that TDI, right now I'm going to try to set it in here, try to get an idea where everything would sit. I went ahead and cut the brackets off of the, well, I'll call it a frame, but off of the engine bay. And I'm in the process of trying to set the engine in. And as I lower the engine into place, I'm getting the clearance I need to have between this board and the top of the valve cover. And once I fabricate enough of the mounts to where I can set it in place, then I need to stick the axles in and make sure that they don't bind up or anything. So after all that effort, I come to the conclusion that it is not practical to put the Mark IV TDI motor mounts into the Mark I chassis. The reason being, well, there's two reasons. The first one is you have to cut away the passenger side fender well to make room for the passenger side mount. The other thing is that with them big Mark IV mounts sitting there, they're sitting on top of the horns or the body, and that's taking up valuable real estate inside of the Mark I's engine bay. You still got to run intercooler lines, air conditioning lines, and everything else, and with them big bulky aluminum mounts, there's just not much space in there anymore. So therefore, I went ahead and I welded back on the Mark I mounts into the engine bay, and I created a bracket. Well, I've created two brackets. The one for the right hand side of the mount, I just put a piece of plate and I welded the Mark I mount to a new plate, and that allows that TDI engine to sit as far to the right hand side of the bay as possible. In my case, I welded the mount as close to the timing belt adjuster as I could, and I'm thinking that this will allow the engine to sit down in the bay as far as possible to make sure that the hood will close. And after setting everything in place, I've decided that the engine was sitting too far down in the bay. So I went ahead and I pulled the mount back out, which was something I was able to do with the engine still in the bay. Cut the old Mark I off the bracket, and I lowered it about 3/8 to half an inch. And the other reason why I did this, the most important reason why I did this, is that the axles didn't seem to have enough clearance on the lower control arms. So by doing this, I gave the axles more clearance. For the left hand mount, I just used the Mark 1's left-hand mount and created a new bracket using the old bracket and just some metal I had in the shop. And doing this, there was only one real problem that I had, and that was the O2J transmission, which is the transmission that comes with the Mark IV TDI. Its shifter hit the mount, but all I had to do was take the mount back off and notch it out enough for the shifter to clear both the shift lever itself and one of the cable ends. Make sure that they cleared, and I think I'm good there. So that's been taken care of. And lastly is the rear mount, which is the mount that mounts between the transmission case and the body in the vicinity of the shifter. I used the Mark IV bracket that mounts to the transmission, and I fabricated an adapter that bolts to where the Mark I's transmission mount went, and I'm happy with it. But then again, I'm not. Obviously, with these pictures, it's clear that the mount is also not lined up through the bracket I made, so I'm going to have to redo the bracket so the mount's not cockeyed inside the bracket. But I'm happy with the concept of it. I was worried about, would the mount be too low? Would it drag on a speed bump or something? But it does appear that the mount is almost in a center line with both front tires. So as the tires go up and over a speed bump, the mount should go with it. So I think I'm good. Lastly, there's on the Mark I, there's a mount in front of the engine between the transmission and the front body just below the radiator. I believe they used to call this a snubber. The Mark IV did not have a snubber or the fourth mount, and I'm going to press forward without using the fourth mount. If I have to build something later, then what I might do is I might build some sort of wishbone that incorporates both the front and rear mount that tie to the transmission housing. But right now I don't want to use it. Thanks for watching my video. If you get anything out of it, it should be that the Mark IV mounts inside of the Mark I body is just not practical. Other than that, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and remember, if you love life and learning new things, go aimless.com.